Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. So, dear Dhamma friends, before we start our session, and we'll take few minutes to give some guidelines. So, in the beginning, remember we going to practice two kind of mental cultures. One is called Samatha mental culture, and another one called Vipassana mental culture. So, in the Samatha mental culture, what we does, we trying to bring our mind to one pointness. It called serenity meditation, and also it called Chitta Bhavana, Samadhi, tranquility meditation. So our main purpose, bringing our mind to one point and stay in one place. Because very nature of our mind, it always go here and there. So when the mind go here and there, what is happening? It develop your busy mind, and then you cannot observe very clearly, you cannot recognize whatever the perceptions. So once the mind settle down with the one place, with one mental object, from there we're going to develop our Vipassana level of meditation. So when it comes to Samatha meditation, tranquility meditation, there are different teachers talk this in different ways. But averagely, if you look very carefully, just remember, and sometimes we say, control your mind. So this come when we talk about the tranquility meditation. So, but in our practice here, we don't try to control the mind. So from where this control come? This word mostly come because in tranquility meditation, its main purpose, you bring your mind to one pointness. And then you need the effort. So that effort, sometimes you try to push too hard, or you try to hold and keep your mind in one place. So for that, sometimes there are some teachers and there are some guidelines we see, it talk about control your mind. So why we not going to control? Because we trying to go to the Vipassana level, and then we need to recognize the very nature of the inhalation exhalation. So we don't need to create something. We don't try to create anything. We trying to get into the very organic, very natural way of inhalation exhalation. That's why we try in a tranquility state, we trying to focus our mind to in one point. So when we look deeply, from where this control word come, because in the deeper in meditation, that we cannot control. Who going to control? Because your mind itself you, and when you control, what will happen to its very nature? The pressure going to become inside. What you have to do, rather than control, try to concentrate. So the concentrate is more different than controlling. So mostly, when we look deeply, there are some teachers try to explain this concentration, and they use the word control. So then remember yourself, never try to control anything, because the why I say so, that whatever we practice with our mental, listen this very carefully. It is just not you just sit 5 minutes here and then you go. Because what you practice with your mind, your mental attitude going to become your very nature in day-to-day life. So then if you have an idea regarding controlling, then you develop ownership, self-centered mind. I am, I do this. So then what will happen? You control your mind, and in a certain level, in the surface level, you feel you doing it. You okay, you can keep your mind posing to one point and stay there. And then it become your mental attitude. Naturally, it going to go to your body. So then what will happen? You start to control your body. Now you control your mind, you control your body, you control that all the bodily, verbally and mentally action. So the control, when you control, it doesn't change anything inside you. It's going to be the same way, but the outside, maybe it's going to become different. But inside the pressure going to be the same. It never going to change. Your mental formations going to be the same. So then what will happen? You naturally, your activities start to become different, and you start to control outside things. You start to control outside things, and not only things, then you start to get into people. Why? Because it becomes your attitude. Now what is happening? You start to jump into others and interfere with others. And then what will happen? You start to control that your children and husband, wife, and your brothers, sisters, friends and family members. So like that, around you, you start to do, it's naturally happening. Even you don't see it. That is what happening mainly. The most of people practice yoga all over the world. Most of the studios, they try to control their body. And when they control their body, the controlling become their attitude. And then what will happen? Wherever they go, and they always try to, whatever come to their mind as ideas, and they think that they hold it to that, and they then start to struggle with others. Look at more than any other time, we have meditation centers, yoga centers around the world, everywhere. Then people should be more flexible, more healthy. But look what is happening. It's completely go to other side. That is the main reason. So then when you practice meditation, remember, anywhere you go, with whatever the teacher you practice, it is your responsibility to take care and get into the right steps. So this is very public, and that's why I wanna give this information in front of everybody, and just think about it. Because controlling, to control, who going to control? That your self-centered mind going to control the surface level of your ideas. But concentration is more different than the controlling. So the concentrate, when you become more aware, you become more mindful, you become more alert, and you recognize you're not going to interfere with what is happening. So when it comes to breathing, we take our breathing as the mental object. Why we need the mental object? Because our mind go here and there. So then we give one target or the one mental object to keep focus to that. So then wherever the mind go, you harbor to that again and again. So you don't interfere with it. Remember that. So then when the inhalation, exhalation happen, in the beginning, just recognize this is inhalation, this is exhalation. So that's the first step you have to do. And then when the mind settle down little by little, and observe the entire continuation of the inhalation, exhalation, knowingly this is the beginning, this is the middle, this is the end. And you just observing. If you see it, you observe. Otherwise, just try to bring your attention to the sensation and stay there. And then if you feel it, if you see it, don't try to make it happen. Don't try to visualize. Don't try to, to bring it up. Learn to wait. That is one of the great profitable skill that you develop when you practice meditation. Learn to wait and observe. Settle down yourself and wait. So then sometimes inhalation become longer, shorter, heavy, soft, warm, cold. In surface level, you see this because these details we need. These are the source. These are the tools you're going to use when you go to the vipassana. So you just now become very familiar with this inhalation, exhalation, and you follow the sensation and stay with it. So as a result of that, in tranquility state, now the mind start to become more relaxed and the breathing become more relaxed and the body become more relaxed. So then that deeply yourself, you feel more calmness and relaxed comfort and the joy. So you don't go with that, you stay with the inhalation, exhalation again and again, again and again. So then what will happen? Your mind start to disturb mostly with the very recent memory and sometimes very old memory, and sometimes that the thought arise without any reason. We have many eons memories that we carry with us as mental formations. This all sometimes vomit. When the surface level mind settle down, the old things can come up. It's like a volcano. Whatever the very weak place of the earth, the volcano arise and the fire going to come up. Same thing happening. When you are not responding to your surface level, very recent memory, what is happening, the old memory start to play the role and it can bring up. So don't react to it. Just stay focused to inhalation, exhalation. And as a result of that, slowly you will get into the tranquility state. When it comes to tranquility state, your body, your breathing, your mind start to settle down as one. So from there, we go to vipassana level. So remember very carefully, now tranquility state, we're trying to bring our mind to the one pointness, calmness, and less thoughts. Stay focused to one thing. And then the mind become more sharp and clear. So thought thought will happen. It is not what you're doing, it happening itself. But when you don't react to it, you will recognize the mind is itself not your thought. The thought is a result of your mind. So then you not focusing to thought, you're going to be settled down with the mind. So that's how you slowly detach from the thoughts and not responding to the thoughts, and you're going to settle down with the mind. So from there, we go to vipassana. So vipassana is not a magic word. Remember that. Vipassana means it's a Pali word, and we bring in the very meaning of vipassana. Vi means thoroughly, deeply, passana, observe. So in the tranquility state, we didn't observe like that. We just settled down. But now from here, we're going to observe. What we're going to observe? Because that we can hear the sound, we can feel any kind of sensation, we can get the smell, and sometimes thought arise. So what we going to observe? So in the beginning, just remember, we use the sensation as our mental object. So we use the same place and same tool because it make more comfortable. And later, when you practice deeply, naturally, you're going to recognize that whatever the sensation has the same method inside you. And we're not going to go to any outside details. We stay with the inner experience. Why? Because the very purpose of Vipassana teachings is giving the clarity regarding self-realization. You're going to recognize who you are. What is happening within you? What is this life? Because once you recognize in this very moment who you are or what is happening within yourself, that experience multiply with everything around you, even thousand eons backward or the future or anywhere in this universe. If you hear, if there is a living being, so you know what is happening inside that living being. Why? Because you see what is happening within you. So for that, we're going to observe the 5 aggregates. Why? Because the very life mean these 5 aggregates. What are those? So the inhalation, exhalation, we take as the form, as the body. So when the inhalation happen, exhalation happen, just observe very clearly as sensation. In this very moment, remember, when you observe thoroughly, deeply, don't bring any kind of thoughts. Don't try to bring any kind of believing system or the prayers or the teachings or anything. Don't bring anything, just be with the clear, empty mind. That's why there are some teachers you may heard and they talk. When they talk, they say, for Patrice, you no need a teacher. You no need any technique. So maybe they heard somewhere regarding this meditation technique in the Vipassana. So that's why sometimes they mention like this way. Or maybe they have a different any other method. But just remember, when it comes to Vipassana, just keep only the clear mind. And maybe sometimes in the beginning, you don't see anything. But as I mentioned, develop the tranquility state and keep the clarity within yourself and keep observing. So what you observe, observe the sensation of the inhalation, exhalation. So when the inhalation happens, following that inhalation deeply, the feelings arise, and then according to that feelings, the sensation arise. According to sensation, thoughts or the mental formations arise. And with this everything, recognize the cognition arise as you recognize this as an inhalation. So when the exhalation happens, not the previous one with the inhalation, when the exhalation happens, brand new, very fresh feelings arise related with only that exhalation, and related with only that feelings, sensation arise, and the mental formations arise, and the recognitions arise. So when the inhalation happens, the previous exhalation, the consciousness change, and the brand new sensation arise, and the consciousness arise, feelings arise, mental formations arise. So each and every inhalation has a new awareness. That is what you have to keep observing. That is what Vipassana. There is nothing else. So you stay clearly again and again, and you see the change. So it go with the eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, and you can go with the 4 foundations, Kaya Anupassana, contemplating the body, and Vedana Anupassana, contemplating the feelings, and the Chitta Anupassana, contemplating the mind, and the Dhammanupassana, contemplating the very nature of the behavior of the body. But this is what you observe. Whatever the feelings arise, whatever the form arise, and according to that form, feelings arise, and that feelings change, and then the sensation and the formations, consciousness arise. So again and again, whatever the feelings arise, according to that feelings, the consciousness change. And you stay with that change inside your body. So maybe even any pain or anywhere, any kind of sensation, any thought arise, and you can later observe anything, and your whole body going to work as one system later. But in the beginning, be very clear with what is happening. So once you keep observing this change again and again, and you become very clear with the change, to observe the change. So when the inhalation happens, now you see the pattern, how it changed. When the exhalation happens, your consciousness change, your feelings change, everything brand new. You can experience this only in the present moment. You cannot have the past feelings or the future. When the sensation arises, when the inhalation, exhalation arise, in that very moment you can feel this. You can recognize this. So then you are in the present moment and you experience the change. When it comes to the depth, only thing you experience arising and disappearing, arising and disappearing. Udaya, Vaya. Even you feel like existence. So like as example, inhalation, the beginning, in the in the tranquility state, we observe the entire continuation. So as example, so this is the entire breath body. So this pain, and this is the entire breath body. So this is the beginning, and this is the middle, and this is the end. Why it says there is no existence, only arising and disappearance? Because if this is the beginning, this should end to go to this place. This should end to go to this place. So like that, moment by moment change, the entire process we recognize as inhalation. So exhalation the same. And that's why it says there is no such a thing called existence. We experience the change as existence. So it takes time sometimes to recognize it, because there is no solid moment exist. When the inhalation arises, from beginning to end, it moment by moment changing, changing and finish. So that's why I say it's only arising, disappearance, arising, udaya, vaya. That is what in the Pali, 2 words. So when you observe this again and again, mind will settle down slowly, and the body become more relaxed, calm, and the thoughts become more relaxed, calm, and you get into the deeper tranquility state. Because now anywhere your mind doesn't go, you focus to this inside change. And then maybe sometimes your whole body, you feel as one, and in that level, that wherever, whatever the sensation arises right away, you recognize how the feelings change. Now you see and you experience. So when you know, your own feelings change. This completely, this emotional level of reaction disappear. It become neutral. And that is where your reactions become slow, because when somebody, then you know what is happening within yourself and exactly it happening within others also. So then when somebody get crazy and get mad, angry, and do something, say something, you're not going to become worried. Why? Because you know it cannot be there solid. It's going to go away. But when you don't see it, what will happen? You start to jump on, and you say things, you start do things, you go to fight with each other, and then you take decisions, and then we go with it. That is what our life. We react into our thought. So in the Vipassana level, you see it deeply. So I just mention in a surface level, I just want to give the idea of what is happening. Because once you know it, how this is happening and how it brings the wisdom to you, when you observe, you know where you going. Even you didn't reach to it, you know where you want to go. So like that. So remember again and again, keep observe according to sensation, how the feelings, according to the form, how the feelings, sensation, formations, thoughts, and the understanding change. So stay with it, little by little, try to become very clear with the path. Then, and slowly, little by little, five hindrance will disappear. In the very first level, the sensual place, the sensual senses based desires disappear with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, and the kama chanda. Slowly it will disappear. It will calm down you and make you more relaxed and comfortable. And then the anger and resistance disappear, and then the calmness arise, and the deeper spiritual vitality arise, and you become more awake. You develop more awareness, no sloth and torpor, heaviness or sleepiness, laziness disappear. So then from there you stay in the present moment, and then no any more comparison, and you're going to be more centered with the experience, and then you recognize this path work for you. There is no doubt anymore. Same like I explained to you, and you can explain to it anybody because you know how it works, and you get the benefit also. And then anywhere you go, and if anybody, and in between this process, and you see there is no one interfere with this. So that's why we say it is your own effort, and it's your own wisdom. It's not someone else. And when you come to that level, it is called Sammaditthi, right view. So that is what the Buddha means. And recognizing this method is the right view. So once you are in the right view, you have the right vision, and you know how to go the journey. So just practice a little bit, and so only thing, just give your best for yourself. Your right palm on your left, neck head straight in one line, and be comfortable with your posture. And scan head to toes 3 times yourself, and say Sopatveva, or may I be well and happy 3 times. Take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. In this moment with this sitting, may my body become more comfortable, may my breath be more smooth, may no difficulties come to me, may all the success come to me. Also think for a moment, this is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime, and detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of the inhalation and exhalation. So in the beginning, deeply inhale, exhale 3 times. So let your mind to settle down with the sensation of the inhalation and exhalation. If your mind go here and there, bring it back. Just observe the sensation. Bring your attention to your body. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire this compound, this village, this city, this state, this country, this world, and this universe. And as far as we can through galaxies, other planets, stars, reminding ourselves like this. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe. And may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart forward to your backside, to your left side, and to your right side, downward and upward, to all 6 directions at once, like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy, without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance, or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it, with the maximum effort to the highest. Wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu. Say sadhu, sadhu. So, dear Dhamma friends, and sometimes this practice in the beginning you don't get any result, but keep practice little by little. Don't give up. So that is the important thing. Another thing is don't look for end result. It's like you climbing mountains. So when you climb the mountain, before you get into the top, from the bottom, you cannot see the, the landscape. Only thing you have to keep climb. When you come to the right point, you start to see the necessary landscape. Same like in the beginning, just keep practice. In the present moment, what you experience, be very clear with that. And little by little, you will get into the right place. And at the same time, we have to remember while we practice this way, there are some other little qualities we have to develop with us. And when we look at the world nowadays, and people have very kind of like a very negative idea regarding one of the most valuable thing. So that is stress. So when we look at the world today, people become stressful, and as a result of that stress, and a lot of people get disease, and the health conditions completely become different. The very reason for that, because they misunderstand it and they misguide it. So the stress is very need for us. Otherwise, we cannot get into any kind of development or any kind of success in life. So then remember yourself, learn to accept the situations in life, because there is no place you can hide from the worldly conditions. But the thing is, when the situations come, rather than putting a label on it, this is bad, this is not good, like that, start to develop a method. So whatever the situation comes, try to use it to get the good benefit for you. So otherwise, that we always look for the right moment or the right place or the right people, it will never happen to us. So then again and again, remember yourself in every day in life, each and every moment going to be new. And no one can predict that it is going to happen this way or that way, like that. So then be ready for that. For that, one of the best tool that you have to do, awareness. Keep the awareness yourself, keep the alert, be mindful. So whatever the situation come, then you can deal with it. But when you are not become mindful, or when you are not alert regarding the situation or the moment wherever you are, so whatever the situation come, even sometimes good things happen to you and you end your life with the bad. There are a lot of, we see like that. There are a lot of good opportunities happen, but we end up with something miserable. Why? Because when you are lose your awareness, mindfulness, alertness, so whatever the situation, it cannot protect you. So then this stress is one of the most important thing that you can use to develop your life. It's kind of like a soiled, the muddy dirt is soiled. So in the stress is itself, it happened because of the unbalance, whatever the situation that you go through. But at the same time, don't try to take it as something bad. The first thing, remember to change your mindset. Because once you change your mind, no one can disturb you. So that is the important thing. Once you ready to accept anything, any situation, once you change the mind, no one can stop you. So look at ourselves sometime for the good things, we cannot change our mind. But there is possibility, as you know, there are drug dealers, terrorists, and the politicians, they brainwash others' mind. And look what happened when the person brainwash. The brainwash means change their mind. And then the people go completely different way, become crazy. But why we cannot do it for the good side, for the, 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 the profitable ways? So then yourself, whatever the idea you carry with the trace, remember, change that idea. Why? Because it's going to be everywhere in your life. You cannot escape from it. So then when you have an idea or trace is not good, what will happen? Even for little things, you get disappointed. Even nowadays, the children, and they get stressed. And sometimes parents ask, oh, Venerable Sir, this my child, my daughter, my son, very stressful, and what we can help. So it is impossible. It cannot happen like that. It is a idea. It is an idea, just a concept. Oh, this like this like. And sometimes for some people, it is a very forced disease, stressful, becoming stressful. So always remember, whatever the situations come to your life, take it as an opportunity. Teach your children. Don't always try to bring the comfort and don't put them in a comfort zone always. Always try to teach them whatever the situation come to accept it and try to transform that situation to good. So that is what we need today. Why? Because when you look at everywhere, look how things happening. Even people have money, even people very famous, and even people have all the facilities, but still, and they collapse themselves. That is not good. So then yourself, when you build up your life, so whatever the situation come, accept it. It is okay. Why? Because you practice Vipassana and you know nothing going to be forever. Everything change. So then you see it yourself, how it changed. It's just for the moment. But if you put the condition or put the seal on it, put a name or the label on it, and sometimes we carry that label. That is the only thing happening. So always remember that nothing going to be permanent. So then whatever the situation come, for the moment, maybe it is difficult, but it is good for you. It is a good investment. It is a good invitation for you. It's like, as you seen, very skinny young guy go to gym and start to work out. And little by little, he put muscles and he become bigger and stronger. And he go against the stress. And he developed the skill, go against the stress that whatever the body build. So if he give up, he cannot do that. All the sports field, that is all the winners, how they win. They not sit and pray and wait for the winning. No, they work against the stress. All the good singers, the dancers, actors, actors, everybody. How they become better than somebody else. When the stress arises, somebody accept it and collapse, and somebody break that moment and move forward. So then yourself, when you in day-to-day life, so change your mentality. Why? Because in the future, it's going to be everywhere. So then we have to, it's kind of like we come to a point, do or die. So it is our choice then. We select and we go with it. And we say it is okay. Once you accept it as it is okay, no one can disturb you. So that's why remember yourself and teach your children. That is very important. Why? Because they go with this all the machines and technology, and then they build up this algorithm, and then they become systematic, and they don't learn how to face to how to go with the disturb. And when something disturb, if the phone doesn't work, if the computer doesn't work, if the light doesn't work, if the internet break down, the people get panic. people get disappointed. It's nothing to do with that. Why you disappointed? Why you get panic? Why you get upset about it? Why you get mad about it? So when you develop that kind of mindset, how are you going to deal with the people? Because the people or the situations moment always going to become different. And sometimes people make mistakes, and sometimes situations going to different than we think. So then how we going to go with the life? So that's why mostly we deal with machines and technology and that things, and we become systematic. And that this systematic mindset, it doesn't work in the nature and with the people. So then yourself always remember, keep the cool inside, and whatever the situations come, and accept it. And also for especially for all these young children and these teenagers, as parents, remember that is one of the skill that you have to give to them. Otherwise in the future, their life going to become very difficult. So that is what we see nowadays. And from the schools and from around us, there are a lot of parents call and tell, oh, Venerable Sir, what to do with these children. Because I used to go to these schools and now they don't go into school and they now call. And most of disappointed, no reason. So that's why you have to come out of this situation and remember yourself. Life is more beautiful when you become open. When you shrink with the ideas, you can create a hell inside you. No reason. You don't need reason to make a hell. And so that's why you have to be very careful. But once you know the art, once you learn to become open, and you create the heaven within yourself and wherever you are, and you enjoy life. So that's why don't afraid for the stress, and take it as an opportunity and build up yourself and go with it and try to use it as something friendly, and try to get something good out of it. Always remember, when you are stressful, that means it try to indicate and try to push you to new opportunities. And remember that. So then look for the new opportunities and develop your creative mind. And that way you will see the most stressful time become most profitable time for you. So there was a king long time ago, and this king had his own one son. So this king was very old and he had four advisors, very good advisors. But what happened, this child, prince, used to play here and there, and he didn't put that much attention to learn from the father or from the advisors. And somehow suddenly father died. And then this prince and became the king. And he was so greedy and he had no idea how to give. And then four advisors one day gathered and started to talk. Because the very nature of the king is giving. And then the advisors gathered and told, so this is not good for us. Because we are used to give advices to our previous king, and this king and become so greedy, and somehow we have to transform him and make him generous. Otherwise it is not good for entire country. So then they were thinking how to teach this king to become a generous person. So then one advisor thought, and he organized a carnival. So he then one day with the king, that all these four advisors went to see the carnival. Now they're going around the people, show different circus. And then there was a guy, and he take a very sharp sword and then put it to his throat. And king saw this and told, oh, look at that. That is impossible. how the person can put this sharp sword to his body, inside the body through the mouth. And then that is the point that one advisor took the chance and told, "Oh, king, it is very easy, but there is something more different, difficult than this." The king asked, "What is that?" Just having idea to give something is more difficult than putting a sword inside the mouth, body through the mouth. The king start to think, maybe that's true, because I never thought anything and to give. So then he told, yes, that is true, it makes sense. Then the next advisor got the chance and told, king, even somebody can think to give, but giving something as make an action is more difficult than thinking. So the king start to think about it. And then again he accept that is true, because we can think anything, but still how we going to do it? It is difficult. And that's true. And then the other advisor told, "Oh king, even you can give some you can think to give something, and then even you can give something. It is also easy, but there is something else more difficult." The king asked, "What is that?" "Once you give, forget it and don't remind that what you gave." And the king start to think, and king accept it. You can put the sword through your mouth to your body. That is maybe easy. When you keep practice, you can do it. And there is more difficult than it just thinking to give something. And then even you can give it, and even you can think, but to make an action and giving, it is more difficult. Even you can give something, but after you gave, forget it is more difficult. So then in day-to-day life, if you look very carefully, that I'll give us one secret. More than the bad things, more than the unnecessary things, we always hold it to what we like. And we remind all the good things within us. And that itself create the samsara. Because the bad things very easily we give up. And the neutral things we can give up. But we more hold it to good things. If you can give up good things, more easily you can give up bad things. And a lot of people say, and they do a lot of good things. And suddenly what is happening, when something bad happened to them, they say, oh, it is very difficult to forget. Why it is difficult to forget? Maybe only one bad thing happened to you. Why difficult to forget? Because you hold all the good things as a skill in you. So then hold, it doesn't matter for your mind, good or bad. All the whatever the things that you hold to, you learn to hold it. So when the bad things happen, that also you hold. And sometimes it is very difficult to forget the good things. The same way when the bad things happen, that also difficult to forget. So it is okay to do good things. More than any other bad thing, you always have to do the good things with the bodily, verbally, and mentally action. But always remember, even you do the good, don't hold it to good things. And that is where it's going to take you to the samsaric journey. Why? Because mostly the bad things we don't remind it. We don't hold it to. Mostly we hold it to good things, what we like. And even after we die, and the people afraid, even whatever other people used to hold or whatever they like, they don't want to keep it. So that's why remember yourself before you die, and somehow you will get out of all the unnecessary things and the bad things, and maybe you hold to good things that create your samsaric journey. So whatever you do, don't try to remind yourself, don't try to that the put your tape, that you always have a tape, whatever you have to, whatever you did to your wife or the husband or the friends and families or the children and parents, and maybe 10 years 20 years old, and still you keep repeating, I did this, I remember I did this, I did this, like that. You always keep remembering. So especially when you do good, don't keep repeating it. Don't keep reminding it to yourself and repeating and telling to others, I did this, I did that thing. You enjoy it, and when you do good, you no need to remind it to do it again, because naturally that is the power. When you keep doing it, naturally you're going to get into the action. And sometimes people say, keep thinking and then you will do it. No, when you do something bad, you no need to keep thinking to do that bad again. You're going to get into again. It's like the crocodile. The very nature of the crocodile stay in the mud and the water somewhere. But in case, if that crocodile eat one human being, that crocodile always keep chasing the human. It doesn't think. It start to go towards kind of like a magnet. When the human heartbeat, here, the smell of the blood, and the crocodile going to go with it. The same like, it doesn't matter good or bad. So once you do the action, you go with it. So when you do good, it doesn't matter you remind or not, you're going to do it. The important thing is, remember, don't hold into what you're doing. And don't keep repeating and telling always, I did that, I did that, I did that, like that way. Okay? So when you do good, you always going to purify. And always remember that not the bad things, unnecessary things you're not going to do unprofitable things. So, but when you do good, if you can forget it very easily, you become free from all the mental formations. So with that, I bless upon everyone with this good practice. May all of you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you. May no difficulties come to you. May no problems come to you. May you also have the patience, courage, understanding and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life. During this time period, may everyone stay healthy and safe. And finally, may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sabbityo vajjantu sabbarogo vinasatu mate bhavattantarayo sukhi digayuko bhava. Ettavata ca amme sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Idamme punya kammang asavakkaya hotu sabba dukkha pamuncatu. Bless you.